Okay, so we start now at 13:30 with 30 minutes delay in our first section, which will be focusing on the topic origins, future cities, emerging futures, what this is all about. Uta Pottgieser will introduce to you. So I just can say Uta Pottgieser and Helena Huber-Doudova will be your host for this section, and the stage is yours. Please enjoy.
Thank you, Robert. So Helena and I come here, and we just give a short announcement to how this, what the focus of the section is. It's titled Origins. So we are looking actually at the past, at the different models, and to the microphone, yeah, sorry. And what is most important for this session, we will have 6 statements, starting with Helena and finishing with Mikola, each 10 minutes. Afterwards, we will do a more interactive session. We have a flip chart, and we ask you kindly to listen carefully to the presentation. So what are the specific positive and maybe negative legacies of each of the cases, countries, contexts that are presented? Because we really want to be specific in our workshop, not talk about the whole world and everything, but be specific on what is the lessons learned of each of these case studies. This is the task now for each of the sections. I think they will follow a similar principle. We kindly ask the presenters to stay within the 10 minutes. We have a little timer here, so you can see. And we have also slightly changed the order due to somebody being sick. But Helena will start with some cases from the Czech Republic. We will then follow with Michal from Poland, with Jerzy from Hungary, and afterwards with Verica Kristic, with Svetlana Smolenska, Verica Kristic, and afterwards with Mikola from Ukraine. Before I introduce Helena as a speaker and already as a co-moderator introduced, I want to do a very, 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 very short exercise, a warm-up after lunch break, always difficult. And I kindly ask you, together with us, to congratulate one of our speakers. It's her birthday today, Svetlana, and I would like that we sing a little song. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Svetlana, happy birthday to you. So, I think everything is set, and the rest we do during the session, the most important things. And I'm very happy to hand over to Helena Huber-Doudova. I always have to think about that. Helena is, I think, an architectural historian, and she's the chief curator of the architecture collection of the National Museum in Prague, has done her PhD thesis at ETH Zurich, and has been involved in the curation of many exhibitions that are related to modernism, postmodernism, brutalism, also at the Biennale in Venice. And we are getting some Czech cases, and I will start the timer. Helena, the floor is yours. Start. Ja. Ach, einen nicht mit. Gut.
Okay, so thank you for the kind introduction. Like, I'm just like stepping in for Thomas Friel. So my contribution is a little bit improvised, because we also learned about Thomas Friel's sickness in the last minute. So if you have any additional questions that go more in depth, we can maybe discuss it during our discussion round. So I will be concerned with the visionary housing programs of modern architecture and their implementation in film, because we were often speaking about the vision I'm actually asking about what was the vision and how was the vision actually embodied in this 50s and 60s. The housing programs, next slide please, predominantly originate in the interwar period, and the interwar film narratives continue after 1945. In the end, I will show two short sequences from the documentaries of the Czech context that illustrate the situation of the late 1950s and 60s. So just a short recap. The Manual of Dwelling was included in the publication of Le Corbusier towards a new architecture, and it provides a surprisingly detailed housing instructions, including bathroom, dressing room, living room, having bare walls, and a vacuum cleaner. All of these are actually hygienic measures, so that the apartment is easy to clean, it doesn't get dusty, and it doesn't have any viruses or bacteria. He advises us to teach your children that a house is only habitable when it is full of light and air, and when the floors and walls are clear. So that's 1923. That was the vision. Then we were also referring to the Charter of Athens from 1933. So just a quick, it was a main reference for functionalist urbanism. The city was divided into 4 sections, or 4 functions: dwelling, recreation, work, and transportation. And in the dwelling chapter, it was recommended to find best places in the city for dwelling. In these residential zones, they should provide health, reasonable densities, sunlight, little traffic. One should use modern building techniques, and these high-rises shouldn't have like inner courtyards, but should be grounded on large open spaces. Next, please. These programs were actually implemented in film because modern architects were quite aware of the media. You see the caricature of Le Corbusier on the right-hand side, and he's holding a Leica camera. So, photography and film became the media, how the architects spread their message. In Germany, an early series was called Wie wohnen wir gesund und wirtschaftlich. It was with the contribution of Walter Gropius, Bruno Taut, and the Bauhaus teachers. Isaac Gropius, for instance, was demonstrating the modern lifestyle in the Meisterhäuser in Dessau, which is very interesting. That she's like demonstrating the modern appliances and the time saving, etc., etc. So this series has 4 chapters. It has Wohnungsnot, das neue Haus, neues Wohnen, das Bauhaus und seine Bauweise. A film was also, next please, done by Le Corbusier with his main message that a house is a machine for living. And in the script of the film, which Le Corbusier was actually collaborating on, he was kind of trying to highlight particular aspects. So for him, the heart of Paris was like Middle Ages at that time. With his Cité radieuse, he was actually proposing to build skyscrapers. Oh, actually, he was also trying to demolish the old neighborhoods that occupy the center of the city, and then exchange them for glass and steel skyscrapers, highways, and blocks of flats. And this was his vision of the modern city. This is just one part of the film. The other part shows his 3 villas. And he's actually leading the audiences through a promenade through these modern villas, but I won't get into detail. Next, please. Oh, yeah. Now we get to the 1950s and 60s, and we can see that a lot of these narratives are actually being taken over to the afterwar period, with the differences that in the imagery, the afterwar period is more explicit and more radical. Because people are actually building and destroying these old houses and creating the new world. So it was the time of the Aufbauzeit. Not yet, Peter. There is still slides actually. Thank you. So it was a political program and a propaganda in the East and the West during this Aufbauzeit. It was the vision, and Czechoslovakia was planned to build 1,200 1,200,000 new apartments, which was actually about the number that was built until now, and it's projected that about a quarter, like 300,000 of people actually live in Czechoslovakia nowadays. 3 million out of the 10 million population, so it's 1/3 of the entire population. And there were also rising spatial demands from 60 to 75 square meters, and the industrialization and typification. In the Czech cultural context, the film context, it was the Prague Spring, pre-liberal period. There was a new wave of Czech film, the documentary school, which was like the cinema verite, like the uncovered look at the reality. Peter, you can now start the film without sound. So this first film is by Jiří Menzel. It's entitled Prefabricated Houses. It's from 1959, and you can see there the tropes and iconography of the decaying 19th century housing blocks, which complies with these pre-war narratives. The architects from the after-war period, they plan to demolish these old city quarters and make place for the new. It is intended that the new houses actually provide modern equipment, sanitation, kitchen equipment, central heating. Very important was the quick montage and construction. And you can also see in the film that the worker's body actually becomes a tool of the Aufbau side. So you can see a lot of images. I mean, maybe it's the socialist new man, the socialist new worker. But you can see a lot of these images, like how the houses are actually constructed by people on site. Then the consumerist desires, of course, and children's playgrounds. Need a little bit more. So here you can see the destruction of the old city quarters. There's also a subtle critique of a dissonance between the vision and reality in the unfinished pavement. out of time. There's another 2-minute short sequence.
We make it short.
Yeah, we make it short. So please, Peter, I will. Maybe you can make it jump to like this 30 seconds, so that. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but like my conclusion is that in these documents you saw that it's not only positive because it was documentaries, but it was also a subtle critique of the messy constructions, unfinished pavements and everything. That was even then became more clear, this critique in the 70s and 80s. So yeah, that's my like preliminary fazit, and then I will be looking forward to the next discussion.